Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good midnight, good wee hours, good whatever it is, wherever you are. It's the LSAT Study Buddy, and we're back for another session with 33 days left until the LSAT. So today we're going to do another full test. We're going to do test 45 today. Two logical reasonings untimed, one reading comp untimed, and one logic games timed. If you want to know the breakdown and the order of how everything's going to go, it's in the description below. Now, before I get started, I wanted to cover the good, the bad, and some other stuff, and just to make sure it's on here again in case you watch it back. First, we're going to start with the bad. Unfortunately, I got to keep going with these candles, and we're going to do the pumpkin and plum one again until it's done. Yeah, I feel like the more you smell it, the better it smells, I guess, but that doesn't mean it smells good by any means. I feel like I've just kind of gotten used to it. I would not recommend this scent to anyone. It doesn't smell good, um, unless for some reason you like smelling like what I'd imagine a nursing home to smell like, minus the old people. It just smells like plums, and then once the plum smell go away, you get like a lot of pumpkin. Like once it gets through your olfactory palate. I don't know if that's a thing, but it is to me. Second, more bad news. So these are my favorite pencils. If you know what these are, then you already know, but they're Papermate. They're called Sharp Writers, I think. And they're just like regular pencils, or they look like regular pencils, but they're mechanical and they twist at the top and they're comfortable and they feel great and everything. Only problem is that happens before the lead comes out, and I'm officially out of erasers. These were my last two, so I can't use my favorite pencils anymore. Obviously, I'm going to get another pack before the LSAT, um, because I'm not writing anything down with anything but these on an important test day. It's been like that since the SATs, AP tests, um, forever. I whenever I took a test, like I took my first SAT in like seventh grade. Uh, Long story, but um, yeah, I've always used those pencils. Those are my testing pencils. Those are my good pencils. I don't like any other pencils. I don't like regular pencils, and I don't like other mechanical pencils. But for today, I'm gonna have to deal with these guys. Um, Reason I don't like them, because when you shake them, you like feel these things move, and that's like all mechanical pencils except for the ones that you like click down here. You know which ones I'm talking about, that you like twist the eraser and there's a click button down here. But those are just too expensive to be pencils, in my opinion. Um, and they're just too much. They're too big. I like simple, and those are the simplest. These are not my favorite. I think these are Pen and Gear .7 millimeter lead. Um, they're cheaper, but you get what you pay for. I don't like these, but I'm out of those, so we'll have to use these today, unfortunately. Um, yeah, so that's the bad. Good stuff. All the stuff that led to me being on later yesterday, that all got worked out. Um, Whether it was last night or this morning, everything kind of found its way into the place I needed it to be in, which is good. Or everything worked itself out. Not necessarily where I needed it to be in, but where long story short, I'm back. It's all over. No need to worry. Everything's back on track and a-okay. Also good, yesterday marked 2 days of perfect logic game section in a row, timed. 2 days ago, I finished with like 10 minutes left on the clock on test 42 or 43. And yesterday, I finished with, I think, 4 minutes left on the clock in test 44. So that felt really nice and really great. and hopefully we keep that going into today. Logic games, I believe, is the third section of test 45. It is. It's the third section of test 45. So when we get there, hopefully, I'll have the same success that I've had. Um, yeah, so that's the good stuff. And then other stuff, I guess this is more logistics and just an update on how things are going to be moving forward. Um, First of all, I'd like to say good luck, or I'll save that. Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say good luck to all of the LSAT, January LSAT takers. I think the January LSAT started on Saturday, so a lot of people have uh, gone and done it. I hope you all did well. I hope you are satisfied with your scores. Um, and I hope you end up going to school where you want to go to school. And yeah, that's all I got. I hope you did. I hope you did well. For On that note, I guess I'm going to be doing probably today a video about how to pick which schools to apply to. I think that was definitely something that I had a lot of questions about, that I've gained a lot of information about, that I'd like to pass on. I think it's important. So if that's something that you find interesting, really do feel free to check the video. It's probably going to be um, titled like "Which law schools should I apply to?" Um, or something along those lines. Just very simple, straightforward, to the point, and I'll go over what I've learned. I'll explain everything, really, everything I can, at least, or everything I find pertinent to the situation, to the question. And then last thing, today's the last day that I am off of school, that I have the full day to myself and can stream for 4 hours straight, 3 to 4 hours at max straight. Um, so, other than the weekends, which I will still, but until then, I won't be able to. So, school starts tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, all weekdays are going to have a a part one and part two stream. Each one will be approximately an hour and a half to 2 hours, give or take. Could be as short as an hour, could be as long as 2.5. But usually they'll be right around an hour and 15 to an hour and a half on the first section, the first session. And then Mondays and Wednesdays, the second session is also going to be an hour and a half. And then Tuesday, Thursday, the afternoon session um, should be about 2 hours. Friday, um, it should also be about 2 hours in the afternoon. Saturday, we'll be doing full tests, and Sunday will be review for the entire week. Um, yeah, feel free to join us or join me at any point along the way. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. If you have any videos you'd like to see, just let me know. I'd be happy to make them. And yeah, so tomorrow's going to be Tuesday. I'm excited. I'm taking a course on jurisprudence. So I'm excited to meet the professor, or the assistant professor in this case. I don't want to give too much away, but very important person in the legal field, and it's exciting. Other than that, I think that's the only afternoon class I have tomorrow, which is nice. And the reason the sessions are shorter, I feel like this is important, but the reason the sessions are shorter is because I also need time to do homework. So I've allotted myself time to make sure that I'm able to do everything. So Instead of doing 4 hours, we'll do 3 to 3.5 hours spread out over the course of 2 sessions throughout the day. And I've left myself time for lunch, breakfast, um, dinner, homework, all that stuff. So I'd love to put out more time, but I just don't have it. The school I go to operates in a two curriculum fashion, meaning that I have a certain program in the morning that runs from 9 to 12, and then I have an afternoon program that starts at 3. So, yeah. And then each one of those is 4 or 5 classes a week. So, I'm taking a total of uh, what looks to be at the moment 8 classes. It will be 9 by the time my schedule is finalized, but I'll have 9 classes a semester, which is a lot, but I wanted to maximize credits, and I want to maximize this, so that's what we're left with. So, yeah, that's everything I had to say leading up to starting today. Um, Close out of this. Let's check my notes. Yeah, so we have the video applying about picking schools to apply to. That's not deciding on a school. That's just which ones you should apply to. And yeah, again, good luck to everyone who is going to be taking the test, the January test, and good luck to all those retroactive. Good luck to all those who've already taken it. I hope that you get the score you want and you get into the school you want to get into, and that your studying and your time commitment to this test has positively affected your result and will continue to positively impact your life for years to come. If not, take it again. And if you're not going to take it again, I know you're going to be successful wherever you end up. Just remember that it's not about the size of the pond, it's about how big of a fish you are. Better to be the head of a snake than the tail of a lion, or the head of a sheep than the tail of the lion, I guess, is probably better. But yeah, just go succeed wherever you go, and don't let one test or which school you end up in dictate your future. That's 100% up to you. So yeah, I think that's everything. Um, all the stuff I wrote is officially checked off, and all we have left to do is get to the studying. Oh, that I swear that smelling that pumpkin and plum candle is making me not feel good. Like it's bothering my stomach. But I have to get it done. Maybe it's because the excuse me. Maybe it's because the window isn't open. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's open a window. One sec. All right. So that'll hopefully let some of the toxic air given off by this candle out. It's not actually toxic. It's just it isn't for me. It isn't for me. It's too sweet and it's too pumpkin, which is two bad things. Which is all it is. It's plum and pumpkin, sweet and pumpkin. So, all right. I think I've talked enough. All right, time to get into things. It's 1:30. We have a full test to do. 3 untimed section, 1 timed section. Let's say I'll say about 3 hours. Should be probably around 3 hours. If I do, let's say 45 minutes for the 3 untimed sections, You're at 2:15 and 35-minute time section. You're at 2:50, and then a couple breaks. We'll probably end up around 3 hours to 3.5 hours. Unless, of course, I have questions, which I'm happy to take at any point in time. So let me just type that in the chat. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Perfect. Is there anything else I need to do? No. I just gotta, well, we'll do that video on picking schools. Let me just write that down over here. That's my sister, who's supposed to be studying, so I don't know why she's screaming. Anyway, got that down. I'll try to keep it down to 15 minutes because I know you guys are not fond of my half-hour videos. Even though these are subjects that matter a lot more than 15 minutes that takes to the extra 15 minutes that take to watch the video. Regardless, like the past couple days, I'll be doing the LSAT online on the Law Hub test preparation site that they have. LSAT, that is. It's called the LSAT Prep Plus. You pay $99 plus tax, and you get a 1-year subscription to every prep test since the beginning of prep tests. That's everything from 19 to 89, plus a couple extras thrown in there. And I'm on test 45. Yeah, that's all I got. So I'm on test 45. We're going to be doing, again, reading comp, untimed, logical reasoning, untimed, and logic games timed today. The order is in the description below first. And the order basically is following the original test in the book, because the online version always has logic games, 2 logical reasoning, and then the reading comprehension. So we're going to do it like the original test was meant to be taken, which is logical reasoning, then reading comp, then logic games, then logical reasoning, which means in practice on Law Hub, we're going to do section 2, section 4, section 1, and section 3 in that order. All right, so I'm going to play the music and I'm going to get started.
Heart stopped when I first saw you. The world stopped spinning. The world revolves around you. Heart stopped when you first saw me. Did your world stop spinning? Does your world revolve around me? Me too. Me too. Should I stop falling for me? Is your world stop spinning? Is your head spinning too? Heart stopped when you first saw me. Did your world stop spinning? Does your world revolve around me? Me too.
There's a universe inside you, so won't you wake up now and see? Don't hide away the things you're feeling. Unlock your mind and lose the key. There's a universe inside you. You should never have to hide. I can see the stars inside you. Please just open up your eyes. There's a universe inside you. Inside me. There's a universe inside you. Inside There's a universe inside you. There's a universe inside you. So much more than people know. I've seen you fighting your emotion. I hope you stay on the go. There's a universe inside you. So much love to leave behind. Stop the path of devastation. You should live for all the high. There's a universe inside you. Inside me. There's a universe inside you. Inside
There's a universe inside you. Why are you pushing it away? Leave behind your own deception and learn to live another day. There's a universe inside you. Your galaxy of happiness. I just wanna help you find it. We'll explore and take a step. There's a universe inside you. You've gotta give it room to breathe. So let the universe excite you. 'Cause that's the way it's meant to be. Does that sound like something you'd be into? I believe the truth can be reality. Will you roll with that? 'Cause I want you to. I'm stuck in trying to find a way to make it easier to say that there's just one thing on my mind. And I think it's time for you to realize I want you out to myself. Don't wanna share you with nobody else. So give me something to believe. Will you promise me? Will you promise me? I'm not a stranger to excuses. But we once or twice I expected. I just wanna know what your truth is. Will you be the one to break me out of this? I want you all to myself. Don't wanna share you with nobody else. So give me something to believe. Will you promise me? Will you promise me? So give me something. Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known. I will chase the night. Erase all of these broken dreams and flight. I will just walk right out the door. Don't wanna do this anymore. Now I'm lost without you. You drive me crazy out my mind. How'd you do this every time? Now I'm lost without you. Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see nothing to love is all we have? Our issues run so deep, and when you try to sleep, I feel so bad. I should leave, and by the time it's done, I'll be gone. You're so distant when you're home, always hanging by your phone. Do I even know you? And I get paranoid sometimes, 'cause I know that you ain't mine, and I'm lost without you. Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. God, you see, nothing to love is all we have. Our issues run so deep, but when I try to sleep, I feel so bad. I should leave, and by the time it's done, I'll be gone.
One section down, 3 to go. One down, 3 to go. Woohoo! If there are any questions, comments, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm taking a break in between this section and the next one. I just got a Reddit notification for someone on the subreddit titled LSAT preparation asking, does anyone have advice for logic games? I'm seeming to improve in the sections of logical reasoning and reading comp, but I seem to be struggling for logic games. Any suggestion on how to improve? Not looking for a tutor at the moment. Yes. Consistent mechanisms. Make sure that you're able to draw your game board. There are a lot of resources out there on how to draw the game board. Make sure you know how to draw the game board, and make sure you know how to write your rules and follow the same mechanism every time you have a logic game. Don't mix it up. Don't make it more difficult. Do the same thing every single time. If you do the same thing every single time, you'll get the same amount wrong every single time. And when you get it all right, then you'll get the same amount wrong, 0 wrong, every time unless you make a stupid mistake. So, yeah, practice and do the same thing every time. Come up with a mechanism, a consistent mechanism that you will do every time the same way, every time. And yeah, that's all I got for logic games. Just don't mix things up, because if you mix things up, you'll confuse yourself. Just yeah. So, logic games, it's all about mechanism. Logical reasoning also, but logic game is really just about how you draw your board. Like if you're trying to play Sudoku with a 6 squared Sudoku, 3 across, 2 vertically, you're not going to be able to do it because, it would be, I guess that would be easier. But if you're trying to do a Sudoku that's 4 high and 3 across using the numbers 1 through 9, it's never going to work. So you need to learn how to draw your game board. All right. So that's that. Um, Reading comp is a completely different beast. I can't help anyone with reading comp. I can barely help myself with reading comp. Yeah. And then I guess after you do a question, just do it again until you come up with a faster way to do it. And then once you've done enough of them, it kind of just intuitively it becomes a lot clearer, just naturally. Yeah, that's all I got for you in terms of logic games. I hope that helped. Reading comp is going to be the next section I do. Excuse me. Just got an email. All right. I'm going to mute my phone. And we're going to move on to reading comp. So off to the music you go.
something that won't let me forget the way that you move. You tattooed me with your lips. I wore you like perfume. We were like no other, two hearts on the edge. But we went from lovers to just being friends. Baby, like a song stuck in your head. We used to get about the passion. Dance with me, baby, take away the pain. Dance with me, baby, you can lead the way. Dance with me, baby, I'm here for the heartbreak. Dance to me and let me know that I can play. I know you've seen me cross the wrong legs, skip to the edge. I wanna be what keeps you sleepless, past 3 a.m. I know that we're toxic, but I like the thrill. I'd be 6 feet under, it looks good, kill. Let's go back to live it all again and get too close as fast as we can. Dance with me, baby, and take away the pain. Dance with me, baby, you can lead the way. Dance with me, baby, I'm here for the heartbreak. Dance to me and let me know that I can play. I know this gets so complicated. You lose your mind just to change it, and tomorrow you'll regret it. But until the morning, dance with me, baby, and take away the pain. Dance with me, baby, you can lead the way. Dance with me, baby, I'm here for the heartbreak. Dance to me, and let me know the record play. Let it play, baby. Let it play, baby. Dance to me, and let me know the record play. It's just tired. It's just tired. I was wrong, but I made it right. You came back in day and night. I don't want the bottom, don't go out of your state of mind. I've been counting 1 to 10. I'll be back when you begin. I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. And I know you keep asking me flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just tired. I see you go down. I see you go down. I see you go down. I see you just tired. It's just like I know you keep asking me flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fired.
From hello, it plays an echo inside my veins. Hide from hello, it loses an arrow, making the pain. I hide from hello, hello, hello. I hide from hello, hello, hello. From hello, it plays an echo inside my veins. Hide from hello, it loses an arrow, making the pain. I hide from hello, hello, hello. Hide from hello. I hide from hello, hello, hello. I live my life on the run. I say I'm not giving up. I may be living a
All right, so that's not a terrible reading comp section. Not as bad as usual. Not great, not as bad as usual, but that's where I expect to drop points. I generally try to allocate about 5 or 6 wrong answers to reading comp. And we were at 4. So that's not bad, but logic reasoning is definitely carrying, and logic games, I mean, 2 perfect sections in 2 days feels really good. So we're on pace. We're on pace. Right now, if I got my average logical reasoning section, we'd be at probably around a 174, 175. So that's I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, so next section, section 3. Let me just edit the description. Is going to be the logic game section. So that's lesson 4 online on the Law Hub website for the LSAT Prep Plus. But it's Logic 3 in the books. If you're following that, again, this is test 45. Yeah, so like I said, perfect logic games here. Not something that I'd be shocked or that would be necessarily too difficult. Perfect logic games would throw us at a 171, 172 because the first logical reasoning section today was 3 questions under average, which isn't good. I looked it over, and I mean the mistakes were mistakes. Mistakes in understanding or mistakes in reasoning, but the when you get down to 2 questions or 2 options and you pick the wrong one because they both sound about the same thing. Yeah, that just happened a lot. I guess I don't know, maybe it's because it was the first section. I was warming up. Not really too interested in analyzing it, but Logic Games is inbound. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. I'm going to take a couple of minutes just to enjoy the music, relax, take a little break. And then I'll get started with Logic Games in a few minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If you have any comments, go ahead. Otherwise, please give this video a like. That way, if anyone else is studying, they'll see it. And if they have any questions, they'll be able to ask a question. And yeah, as long as I can offer some help, I'm doing what I meant to do here. Yeah, I don't know how this test compares to other tests. The number breakdown looks like it's a little harder because the range for the 180 is 3 questions wide, 97, 98, 99, which would mean that they needed to drop that number to allow the right percent up there. So for whatever reason, this seems to be a harder test than usual. Just from that, usually for a 99 question test, 99 and 98 will be the 180. And then for the 101 question test, it'll go 99 to 101. Yeah. Yeah, everything else seems to line up. But yeah, like I said, we're on pace for a flex of 171 using the first logical reasoning section. On pace for about a 172, assuming the last logical reasoning is the average logical reasoning for the entire 4-section test. And in terms of timing, everything I've done so far has finished on time. I was doing untimed. I wasn't forcing myself to stay in the 35 minutes, but I did. Just naturally. Yeah, so that's the plan. Logic games in a bit. And then, as I said, later today, I'm going to send out a video of how to pick which schools to apply to what to take into account, what to factor in. So that should be published later. If you want to get updated when that happens, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. It'll be out later tonight. Or if you want to be back for the next study session, turn notifications on. You'll get updated every time I go live. If you already subscribed, thank you. And if you throw a like on the video, I'd much appreciate it. The more likes I get, the higher I show up on the education tab, the more likely someone studying for the LSAT sees this and hopefully find some help if they need it, or some accountability if they need it, or just a person to study with. I hate studying alone, so I understand the feeling. Oh, that plum and pumpkin candle is really starting to get to me even worse. I opened the window, but like, oof. I gotta get through this thing quick. Let's blow it out for now. I feel like that's a good move. Note to self, never get a pumpkin and plum candle again, ever. It's, I don't even know who decided it was a good idea. Yeah, we're going to make a candle, and we're going to make it smell not good. And I guess it's profitable for them somehow. Maybe it's just leftover from the fall. Because people didn't like it and it's a new smell, so they just left it on the shelf because they were hoping it would sell eventually, but it's just not right. Just not right. I'd rather spray the chocolate Axe body spray all over my room than have that candle. And that's saying a lot. So that's like middle school. Oh no. Oh gosh. A long time ago. Alright. I think logic games are going to start. So again, it's test 45. It's in this book if you're using books, or Law Hub test 45 if you're using the online database that LSAC has to offer. $99 for the year. Every test from test 19. I think this test is June or December 2004. I put it in the description. Yeah, this test is December 2004. And yeah, logic games, it's section 1 on Law Hub. It's always section 1. Section 1 is always logic games. 2 and 3 are always logical reasoning. And section 4 is always reading comp. But I'm doing them in order the way they were done on the original test, which can be found in the book. So I did logical reasoning, then I did reading comprehension. Now we're on logic games. And then following that, we will be doing the last logical reasoning, and that'll be the end of today's stream. So without further ado, I'm going to hop over to games. Feel free to ask any questions while I'm gone. I'll answer them as soon as I finish. And hopefully we can pull out another perfect logic game score, because that would be awesome. 3 in a row, 3 days in a row. That would get me pretty excited. So we're going to go on to section 1, 35 minutes, and enjoy the music. Actually, before I start, I'm going to change the music. This is just a little too hype, and I go quickly in logic games. And if this is playing in the background, I'm going to want to go with the beat that's playing instead of at my own pace. So I threw on a lo-fi that's a little slower, and that way I can just sprint on my own. So it's a little more jazzy, a little lo-fi. That's what it is. So here we go. And we're off. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, and that's another logic game section with 10 minutes to go and perfect 22 out of 22. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this. My logic games are looking fresh. They are looking on top of the world. Perfect. Dang. Gotta love that. All right, and let's see where we're at. Our logical reasoning hit 3 under average. But let's say even on test day, even if we hit 3 under average, we get 5 wrong on logical reasoning, which just doesn't happen. But let's say it happens. Where are we? Following the method of divide to get per section score and then multiply by 4 to get a full section test, we'd be at an 88. An 88 would put us at a 171. So that's a 171 flex. All of the sections that I did today were under 35 minutes, unintentionally, but they were all under 35 minutes, which means that if that was my flex, I would have finished everything on time and I would have finished with a 171, which is a great score. One shy of what I want, but being able to say I took a flex on time, 33 days out, and just scored a 171 with the right timing. That's awesome. That just feels really good for the soul, you know? So, interesting thing, looking back now at what I was doing for reading comp, I didn't highlight anything today. I just read it. I wanted to give it a shot. Yeah, I just wanted to give it a shot. No highlighting, no notes, no nothing. Just reading, going straight to the questions. And I got 4 wrong, as opposed to the many more that I got wrong yesterday doing my highlighting strategy. And the least I've ever gotten wrong, I think, on a reading comp section was 2 or 3. So maybe that has a role to play. Maybe the reading comp was just easier. Um, but maybe that has something to do with it. Definitely going to work more on that though. Reading comp is my average worst section. Dang, perfect logic games in 24 minutes. Wow, that felt good. Um, that's 3 days in a row. 3 days in a row, perfect logic games. Let's just throw that in the description. Completed. Perfect. Don't ask me how I got my voice to go that high. I probably can't do it again. But that feels really good. Knowing that you can consistently, and that's 3 days in a row. So that's consistency. You know, 1 time's a fluke, 2 times is a fluke. When you do it 3 times in a row on 3 different LSATs, because all the prep tests are LSATs, right? And you do it with time to spare, saying 10 minutes the first time, 6 minutes the second time, and 10 minutes the third time. Yeah, I mean, I'm finishing logic game sections in 25 to 30 minutes instead of 35 minutes. So I'm feeling good. And I'm feeling like I can count on my logic games come test day already, which is great. I'm not going to stop working on them. So just being able to feel comfortable there, that means that I really only need to worry about 2 sections. I need to make sure that my reading comp is where it needs to be, which this first section wasn't there. Not gonna lie, it just wasn't there. A 21 out of 26 just isn't good enough. It's just not good enough. I don't know what else to say. Um, 'Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. It's just not good enough. Look, a 171 isn't bad. Yes, 171 isn't bad. It's a great score. Puts you. I can look it up. 171 puts you top 2%, right? It puts you at the 98th percentile. But when you're getting a perfect logic game section and your logical reasoning is an average of 2 and you get 5 wrong, that's 3 additional points. That puts you at a 173 and you're at top 1%. And when you get up there and when you get to these point totals, that 1% is an acceptance to a school you wouldn't get accepted to otherwise with a 171. And if not, it's thousands of dollars in scholarship in aid to go to school. So when I say it's not good enough, that's what I mean. It's just not. It's not where it needs to be. You know, a 171 and a 173 are drastically different. A 171 and you can break top 14, but a 173 and you're up there making a run at a top 10 school. I mean, 171 will give you a run at a top 10 school too, but a 173 is a much nicer run to be on. If you look at the median breakdowns or the percentile breakdowns, I'll pull those up real quick just to explain the significance. I'm just looking at my school list, my expanded school list, not my final school list. So this is all schools that I could apply to, not all schools that I will be applying to. But to give you an idea, scroll over to the left. A 171 will put you under the median at the median LSAT at Columbia, but a 173 will put you over. And that's the fourth best law school in the country right now. A 171 will put you over the median, but under the 75th at NYU, but a 173 will put you over that 75th percentile LSAT. And that's money. Because these law schools, and they have to compete for LSAT scores because everyone looks at U.S. News and World Reports. And that's money. A 171 will put you at the 75th percentile at UVA. And if you're a splitter, I'm a splitter, a 171, that looks good, but a 173 helps them pull it up. And that's dollars. Once you get above that 75th percent LSAT, and they want you like that, because it's not like a GPA where you could have every single person at the school could have a 4.0. The LSAT gets distributed, given a curve. So they want the 170s. 170s means better rankings. So you really want to be able to offer them that ability. So the 171 is great, right? I'm not saying that it's not. A 171 will put you over the 75th percentile at Georgetown. It'll put you over the 75th percentile at anything below Georgetown. But a 173 will put you over the 75th percentile at UVA, at UPenn, at NYU. And we're already at 6th in the country. So, and when you're looking at that, just NYU, for example, their estimated cost per year is $104,000. If you're above that 75th percentile, you're likely to get a scholarship, or you could leverage a scholarship with other acceptances in the nearby pool because of that 75th percentile. But a scholarship on $104,000 a year, I don't care how much it is. You know, it's 3 questions, 3 more questions right, and you're looking at thousands of dollars that have a huge impact on your future. And let's say you look lower. Let's say you look at GW, right? GW right now is the second best law school in DC, right? George Washington University. Their 75th median LSAT is a 166. 75th percentile LSAT is a 166. And I mean, 171, 173, they're both over that 75th percentile, right? But when you're showing up 5 points above or 7 points above, they understand your value. You understand your worth. And that's it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are less money centric in their applications to law school. I feel like if you're attempting to go to these bigger name law schools and you want those mid to high 170 scores, you're willing to take the expense that may befall you for the opportunity to get that BLFC, the big law federal clerkship opportunity, and believe that it'll repay you when you get out. That's my presumption. So, point is, when I say it's not good enough to get 5 wrong on a section, that's because it's 3 below average and 3 below average when you got a 171 like I just did. 3 questions lower on a flex would have put me at a 173. 3 questions lower on 3 questions less on the regular flex would have put me, or the regular test would have put me at contention for a 174. And now I'm at the 75th percentile at Columbia. So yeah, it's the difference between being top 2% and being top percent. And everyone has their own opinion of what they want, but if I could choose, I'd have a 180. So take that as you will. Also, I don't know about the score conversion because there's a 108 between 176 and 177. Yeah, these numbers are kind of messed up. Let me find a different one. Maybe LSAT has a better interpretation or something. Yeah, here we go. 171 puts you top 2.2%. 173 puts you top 1.2%. That matters. And if you look at the trend, and this is why I said it in an earlier video, I mentioned this, that tests are being recalibrated to be harder. Reason being, if you look at the LSAC's website, and I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat for those interested. When you look at the Law School Admission Council's websites for distribution, score distributions, if you look at just 2018 to 2019 and then 2019 to 2020, and you look at, let's say, a 174, in 2018, 2019, there a 74 was top 0.6%, a 174. But if you look at 2019, 2020, it's top 0.8%, right? Which is saying that more people are hitting these higher scores, and you can see that all the way down. All the way down. Like you get to a 170, and in 2018, 2019, it was top 2.5%. You get to 2019, 2020, it's top 3%. And then it gets to a bigger point. You get to a 166, right? In 2018, 2019, that's top 7%. In 2019, 2020, that's top 8.5%. That's a 1.5% difference over the course of the year. Personally, you look at my score from November, I got a 164, and that's because my study habits weren't what they needed to be. But in 2018, 2019, I would have gotten that. I'm top 11%, top 10.5%. Right now, it's top 13. So the numbers are getting bigger. So that's why the tests are getting harder. Just side note. But yeah, 171 to 173 is a percent difference. It's top 3 to top 2%. It's or top 2 to top 1%. I'm sorry. And that's big for the reasons I mentioned earlier, where you fall into your LSAT percentiles at different schools. So anyway, I got one section left. It's the last logical reasoning of test 45. The goal here is to do better than the first logical reasoning and then recalculate the LSAT flex score that would have been done. Logic games, like I said, I got a 22 out of 22 perfect logic games 3 days in a row. Let's go. That's awesome. Reading comp, 23 out of 27. I generally, because my logical reasoning is pretty solid and my logic game is what it is, I allow myself about 5 to 6 wrong on reading comp. I take that as a given. And logical reasoning, I generally shoot for 2 or 3, less than 3, but 3 is 3 I'll accept without getting too angry over it. So let's just take a look. Like if I were to get 3 wrong, I'd end up with a 22 on logical reasoning. So let's say that were to happen. And we'd be in between a 172 and a 173. So, yeah, if I were to hit my average of only 2 wrong, we'd be between a 173 and a 174, pushing towards the 174. So 90.67 bar. Let's round that up to a 91. We're at a 174. So, yeah. So right now we're at a 171. If we do any better, we're at anything better. That's it. Not much pressure in my opinion. My goal score I have in the description is 170 plus. That's great. I really want a 172. If I get a 172, I don't take the test again. That's if I get a 172, I don't take the test again. If I get a 173, I shoot an application to Harvard. That's where my line is drawn. If I get a 171, I take it again in April. And that'll be my last test. Not because I'm in any rush, but because I'm there. Like I'm definitely floating around my peak, I think. A month out of peak, hopefully, and more studying, but I don't want to fall off of the horse and then not be able to get back on. And I'm applying to schools in the fall, and I want to be able to get everything else done over the summer. And I don't want to rely on the stress of needing a September, October test to go well. So I'm trying to avoid that by doing well here, but from the way it's looking, from my projections, the way I'm developing, yeah, I haven't seen perfect logic games. I've seen 2, 3 wrong on logic games. I've seen 1 wrong on logic games. I've gotten a perfect section before, but 3 days in a row, perfect logic game section. I haven't seen that until I started studying again. So logic games are there. Reading comp, when I went to sit for November, I was getting 9 or 10 wrong sometimes. Then I got 4, which isn't good, right? There are people getting 1 or 2 wrong reading comp, and they're falling on logical reasoning because logical reasoning is the hardest part of this test. Logical reasoning is meant to be the most difficult section. And it's just reading comp. And it's not like I can't read. So it's all right. Anyway, recap. We're at a 171 right now. That was the flex. Flex score 171. Perfect games. 4 wrong on reading comp. 5 wrong on logical reasoning. That was an anomaly. Average is -2. So 1 more section to go. Section 4, test 53 or 45. I don't know where that number came from. Test 45. One section to go, logical reasoning, untimed, but I'll probably finish within the time limit. Then I'll score it as if it was the flex with this logical reasoning section, and then I'll score it as if it was a full LSAT prior to flex. And yeah, later today I'll be posting a video that goes over how to pick law schools to apply to, not how to pick which law school you go to, because there are a lot more considerations, but how to decide where to apply, how to spread your applications, and so on and so forth. If you have any questions at all, I'll probably be here willing to answer questions, kind of taking a break before the last logical reasoning section for the next couple of minutes. Feel free to ask, whether it be a LSAT specific question from a certain test, from a certain section, or LSAT flex or test taking tip. More generally, I'll be happy to answer them. If you're enjoying the stream or you just want to support me, a like down on that like button would feel good. Subscribing would allow you to get notified every time I go live for accountability and studying's sake, or get notified whenever I upload a video, including today's, which is going to be a very important one for a lot of people. It's probably going to be titled How to Choose Which Law Schools to Apply to, or Which Law Schools Should I Apply to? And I'll dive into the percentiles. I'll dive into BLFC, first time bar completion, or first bar passage rates. I'll get into all that good stuff and all the numbers, because that's really all it is. It's all numbers and prestige, but that comes down to the numbers. All right, I'll be here for another 2 minutes, 2-minute break until 2 hours, 45 minutes into the stream, and then I'll hop on. I'll do the last logical reasoning section, and we'll wrap it up after that's done. I'm not going to time myself. I'm not going to force it under 35 minutes, but if it falls under 35 minutes, so be it. We'll have an accurate predictor of a full LSAT and 2 LSAT flexes. Although the LSAT flex, you don't have a break. Even though I feel like these breaks more so move my mind away from it than keep me zoned in. Without a break, you can kind of just go. Poland Springs is my favorite water. Cozy Gathering by Mainstays is a great candle. Got a minute left, and we're back in logical reasoning. I need to work on parallel reasoning questions. I feel like I get all of those wrong, and they show up on every test. But I feel like that's because I'm not using a pen and paper. I should be using a pen and paper when I do this. I'm not going to use it now. I'll start using it tomorrow. I'm already too far into the day to try to change the way I'm doing what I'm doing. It's never too late to change unless you're lazy and don't want to, which is where I am. So, okay, anyway, 10 seconds and we dive back in. Let's close out of all the unnecessary tabs that I opened. So if you're in the book, it's this red book, test 45, section 4, should be logical reasoning. If you're on LawHub Online and you're following along, test 45, section 3 is logical reasoning. And with that, I'm going to resume my test. Get rid of my control find that I was using for reading comp, which you can use on the Flex. Mark this email as read so the notification goes away. And section 3, we're starting.
Just had to close the window.
All right, so that does it for the last logical reasoning section. I finished on time. I got 3 wrong, also below, but a lot closer to average, makes a lot more sense, which puts me at a 22 out of 25. So minus 3, that's a 22. Which puts me at an 88 total score, which on a full LSAT would be a 171. If I do the flex calculation, divide by 3 times 4 for the second logical reasoning section instead of the first, it would put us at an 89 and a third, which puts us at about 172. So that's not bad. 171, 172. It's not a bad test. Not a bad test. So a little better on reading comp, a little worse on logical reasoning, but that's okay. That is okay. Can't be upset with the perfect logic game section. And can't be too upset with 3 wrong on a logical reasoning. The 5 wrong, a little worse. 4 reading comp, I'm pretty happy with. Not completely satisfied, but there's still a ways to go. Yeah, still 33 days out. Now it's 3 hours, a little over 3 hours and 20 minutes into today's stream, and I finished what I had planned. Yeah, so I'm gonna make the video tonight, and then I'm gonna work on some internship stuff, looking for internships for the summer, and yeah, that's all I have. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. If you enjoyed the stream, please like it. Shoot a like if you want to be back here next stream or want to get updated when I publish this video, I recommend hitting the subscribe button, turning notifications on, and that way you'll know when it comes out. But it'll be out tonight. So with that, I'm gonna give it another minute or so and then call it a day. Again, 171, 172, not a bad range to be in. Like I said, 172 is the score that I don't take the test again. So that's where I'm looking to be. I want to be at about 174, 175 before test day. 174, 175 consistently before test day. I'm about 2 or 3 questions off of that right now, which isn't bad. I just need to cut down my logical reasoning to -2. -1, -2 every time. And once that's in the books, I can and I maintain reading comp, if not make it better. Like there's always that chance of doing incredibly well, but reading comp, logical reasoning, a little more work, a little more effort, we'll get there, I'm sure of it. All right, so it's about to be 3 hours and 24 minutes into the stream. I'll give it one more minute. If anyone has any questions, otherwise I'm moving on to my video for today. I don't post every day, but I feel like it's an interesting topic to go over. It's an interesting topic to go over, and I have some sources, websites that people would definitely want to check out. So, definitely. Why is someone screaming? Okay, so it seems to have stopped. But yeah, so 10 more seconds. I'll make the video. It'll be up relatively soon, probably an hour or so, hour and a half, however long it takes to render. Regardless, 3 hours and 25 minutes in, I'm calling it a day. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good late night, good early morning, good wee hours, good whatever it is, wherever you are. I'll be back on tomorrow at about 12:30 for session 1, and then about 4:30 for session 2, I believe. I said it earlier. Anyway, catch you later. Have a good one.